guys, it's Jade. So I rewatch animes quite often, and one anime that never fails to make me very emotional or make me cry is Given. Now, I've seen Given an unhealthy amount of times, and I even reacted to it, and even then I was quite emotional about it. But it's kind of one of those animes where the story just goes smoothly, and I really just wanted to talk to you guys about how much I love this anime, what makes this anime great, and just overall talk about the anime. So if you don't know what Given is, it's a shonen ai anime or a boys love anime that mainly surrounds music, and it only has one season and it came out last year. But even before the anime came out, I actually was reading the manga, and when I saw that this was going to have an anime, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I can finally hear what kind of music they're going to play, or oh my gosh, I'm going to hear Mafia for the first time. And I was kind of nervous that it wouldn't live up to the expectations that I've held for it, but it did. It exceeded it, and it made me very emotional, and I'm very happy that it happened. But given from the beginning, you can already tell that it was going to be very emotional because it showed a snippet of a flashback or some sort of past that Mafiu had, and Mafiu is one of our main characters. But they didn't show fully what happened, so it kind of just leaves you wondering throughout the season, what was it? So from the first episode, we see our two main characters, Mafiu and Ueneyama, and they're kind of opposites. Mafiu is kind of the non-expressive, very quiet type person, and then Ueneyama seems to be kind of like the popular type. He has like basketball friends, but he also plays in a band and he plays guitar. But the one problem he kind of has is that he kind of lost that excitement that he had for guitar because it kind of seems like he's learned everything he needed to learn, so why should I keep this passion up, you know? And so when he meets Mafiu, he sees him hugging this guitar with a broken string, and Ueneyama ends up fixing this guitar string. And one key moment I think is very important was when he was tuning the guitar and he strummed a chord on it, and Mafiu kind of looked at him like, oh my gosh. And the first thing he says is like,
俺にそれの弾き方を教えてください.
And at first Ueneyama didn't want to, but that didn't stop them from being friends or stop Mafiu from wanting to learn. So later on, Ueneyama introduces Mafiu to his band with Akihiko and Haruki, who are his other bandmates. But one moment that I think started this entire thing with the band and that relationship between Ueneyama and Mafiu was when he was teaching him guitar and he asked Mafiu what his favorite song was, and he didn't really know, but he had this melody in his head and he sang it, and it just went like la 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 la. Oh my gosh. I remember it and I just got chills. But from that moment, that shook Ueneyama, and he wanted Mafiu in his band, so he invited him, but Mafiu declined it because he says he's not good at expressing himself. But in the end, he did join the band, which is very good. So moving on in the story, they work together as a band and they're prepping for this live show that they have coming up. So they're gonna have this new song and they decide to have lyrics because hey, now they got a singer. But Mafiu couldn't really figure out what to write about, so he decided that he was gonna write about someone he used to love, which is his ex-lover Yuki. But on the day of the live show, Mafiu still didn't have lyrics because he didn't know how to write them. But the minute they got on the stage, he lets it all out, and that moment made me cry. I'm pretty sure it made all of you who watched it cry because it was just such a proud moment, but also just a really sad moment as well. But after that, Ueneyama and Mafiu become a couple, and their band gets a new name called Given, which, title of the anime. That's pretty much how the first season of Given went. But with Ueneyama and Mafiu, I really didn't think that they would be like a couple at first when I read the manga and then seeing the anime, only because their personalities are quite different in a way. If it wasn't for the events that happened between them, I don't think they would have like crossed paths, but they did. And I love how throughout the season, even though it was a short season with just 11 episodes, their friendship to relationship went so smoothly. It didn't go too fast, it didn't go too slow, and I love how from the beginning Ueneyama had a soft spot for Mafiu, especially after he couldn't find him when he went on the staircase and he just found out that he was with Haruki, but like he was kind of worried about him. But also one scene that I keep thinking of when he has a soft spot for Mafiu was in episode 4 when he was sleeping in the classroom and his boys tried to wake him up and he didn't wake up, and the girl that had a crush on him tried to wake him up. Mafiu came and he was just like,
上野山くん
and he was just like woke up. And he even gave him like a little pat on the head, and I just love that. It was so cute. Even though they don't have a lot in common, they do have some things in common, like they're not great at expressing themselves. And even though they're not great at it, they make it work. Like they always try their best to have what they're feeling come through, especially near the end when they do become a couple. And another thing is how they inspired each other into music, because Ueniyama wasn't excited about music the way he was when he was learning the guitar, but then when he hears Mafyu, that kind of just like explodes excitement, and even Akiko and Haruki see that Ueniyama's more excited about it. And I love how it's not only one way to Ueniyama, it's also with Mafyu, where he first heard the strum of the guitar and he was just like eager, like, hey, teach me guitar. And they both grow together, not only with the affection that they have, but also with the love of music. Now, episode 9. I really want to talk about episode 9 because it was just such a amazing moment. It was like a moment where you feel proud, but you also feel sad, and you just have all these emotions and you don't know what to do with them, so they just like all burst out of your body. But it was the moment where Mafyu ends up singing in the live show, and I just love that moment because Mafyu had all of these emotions stuck inside of him, and when he stepped on that stage and he started singing, it was such a sad moment, but also a moment you should feel proud for Mafyu because he held in the story that he had between him and Yuki, and they show this entire story between the two of them, and it was kind of like going through it so he can close that part in his story, close that chapter so he can start a new one. And he was just like, I gotta let it go. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna just sing everything I want to tell you. I just want to let it all out because I can't move on. I can't keep holding this because with Ueniyama and my other bandmates, I'm moving on. I'm finding new interests. I'm having fun in life, and I just thought it was so sweet that he was finally letting go. But afterwards, if the singing wasn't enough, you had to have Ueniyama take Mafyu off the stage, and when Mafyu went to say thank you, they kissed, and I think that was so sweet. I like freaked out. I think I screamed in the reaction. Not like screamed, but squealed, I think. Oh. Oh my gosh! But it was so sweet because it was like they have all these emotions running through, and I think that moment it was kind of like, I'm very vulnerable in my emotions. I'm gonna do the first thing that comes to mind, which is express the way I feel about you, which is to kiss you. And I just, it was so sweet. I'm like giggly about it. It was cute. But I love that he was saying he wasn't alone. He's not lonely. He's having fun. He loves music. He even has someone he loves, a new person that he loves. And it was kind of like the way he ended it was saying, if I could talk to you again, which kind of shows that if he can talk to Yuki, it's not saying like, if I can talk to you again, I want to be with you. It's kind of like, I want to tell you the amazing things that I'm doing in my life and like how I'm moving on. It was like him looking forward to the time where he can tell Yuki his life. So another thing that I think is quite symbolic in this anime, and I may be looking into it like too deep, but you know, it makes sense to me. But the broken string is kind of like a piece of Mafyu because it broke when he saw Yuki, who is a person that he used to love, and he kind of left that broken string and he went on through life, and then he met Ueniyama, who ends up fixing the string for him, and Ueniyama ends up to be his love interest. And the thing I love about this broken string symbolism is that the string didn't break just once. It broke again in around episode 8 when him and Ueniyama was kind of having this argument because Mafyu didn't have the lyrics, and Ueniyama was like, hey, you can't help it, you can't sing it now because you don't have lyrics. But when the string broke, it wasn't like what happened with Yuki where it's just going to be left broken because there wasn't anyone else to fix it for you because he was gone. Ueniyama, when it broke, he ran out and ran back with new string, and he fixed it for Mafyu. And I think what was so great about it was like, if that broken string is a piece of Mafyu, every time it breaks and he has Ueniyama there, he will know that Ueniyama is going to be there every step of the way with every flaw and every sad moment of his past. Ueniyama is gonna be there to help him fix it back up. Overall, I think the reason why I like this anime, or at least one of the reasons why, is because it's not purely just about the romance. It's just about music, and it's about relationships, and not only just relationship but friendships, and it's just about seeing someone grow from their past and just moving on and moving forward with their life. Even though I do love these lovey-dovey moments, I like how that's not the main thing about this anime. And they do such a great job at balancing out the cute romancy or cute flirty moments with the whole meaning of like music and friendship and all that stuff. For sure, I'm gonna be rewatching this anime over and over again until I dry up from crying too much. But I mean, I just love it so much just because the story is so great and I fall in love with the characters every time. I fall in love with the story every time, and I just overall think Given is one of the best boys love animes I've read and seen. I also hope there is a season 2. I mean, somewhere out in the universe or some article out there will say that there will be a season 2, but they just don't know for sure. And I just hope that there will be one coming out. I mean, the movie came out, and I am very sad that the movie hasn't come out in the US yet. I'm being very patient. I mean, it came out in August, it's September, almost October. I'm slowly dying, and I just want to see the movie so bad. I mean, the Given movie is the arc of Ugetsu, Akihiko, and Haruki, and I know from the manga what's gonna happen, but I just want to see it happen in real life. And fun fact, Given, the band in the anime, is actually a band in Spotify, so I like relive those emotions through the music. But also, I've heard some of the music that was released for the movie, and I just like drown myself in emotions thinking about where the song would be placed. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready, but I'm also ready. If that makes sense. I'm like unsure. I'm really excited for the movie when it does get released to the US, but I know that's not going to be for a while. But I am very patient and very hopeful. Alright you guys, time for some comments, and these comments are from my last week's video where I gave you guys my Asian house tour. And the first comment is from We It's Nookies. I mean, you gotta give yourself more credit than that. I'm pretty sure you're more than just plain and bland. And Serena Dibbity, who said, Yakult! Yakult! And Malachi Blood, who said, dang, I knew you were Asian, but you are really Asian. Thank you! And King Drago 101, who said that they were eating rice and the grains are hard AF. King, why would you do that to yourself? And Sayoshva, who said that they have the same rabbit cheater chopsticks for their kid. I mean, they're awesome, right? And Bleach Boy 18, who said that they underestimated rice and they found that it was a cheap way to survive because you can have pork chops with rice, steak with rice, and you can even have porridge and throw some egg in it. And now they have plenty of rice. Preach. And Ronnie, who complimented my Pikachu impression and also loved my drink station. Thank you, Ronnie. And lastly, 3XC, who said, before watching it, I know exactly what your house looks like. I've literally been here before. While I watch it, oh look, I remember when you and I insert whack moment. And after I watch it, this house hasn't changed since I was 4. Yeah, cause it hasn't changed since you were 4. But that is all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. I have some... Why am I getting so emotional? I'm like...